Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the channel. So today I'm going to go ahead and be installing some parts on my 2007 GT500 differential to hopefully get out my previous issues figured out. If you're not caught up, let me go ahead and show you what's going on real quick. Basically, I took it to the drag strip and I noticed that there's some paint that was rubbed off in the very bottom here, and that the distance right here is not the same, is significantly off from the distance on this side. So long story short, basically what that means is my axle is sitting in the car kind of like this, and it should be directly across. So what we're going to go ahead and do, got some parts to hopefully fix it. So the first part we got right here is a J&M Performance, I'm probably saying that wrong, but whatever, axle brace. So pretty much this is going to be for, this is specifically built for the 8.8 rear diff, and what it's going to do is brace against the differential, and then it's going to hit either side of the axle tubes. Because if you are not aware, some problem on these cars, when you get to higher horsepower launching on slicks, I'm talking like 500-600 and up, is you can actually twist the axle tubes inside their housing. The correct way to fix it is to get it welded and a brace. I'm not getting mine welded as of right now, probably in the future, but the brace is definitely a must. So if this doesn't line up, I will know that my axle tube probably rotated and I'm gonna have a much more difficult time trying to fix everything. Fingers crossed that it didn't. What I think the problem more likely is the lower control arms being slightly not angled properly. So to fix that, went ahead and got ourselves some J&M Performance adjustable lower control arms. So basically what this is going to do, these are adjustable length. So the control arms will keep the axle like this. As you adjust the length, it's going to pull either side back and forth. Same issue I'm having in the car right now. If you are not aware, this is my 700 horsepower 2007 GT500. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get this thing up on jack stands. And then after that, I'm going to go ahead and take you under and point out what we're doing. So all right, so car is up on jack stands, wheels are off, everything is prepped. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys exactly what we're replacing. All right, so what we're replacing is this piece of metal right here. So these are aftermarket, these are BMR fixed length lower control arms. A very good control arm, however, not quite what I need for my application. So what I think is causing my actual axle issue are these. I believe one is torqued forward or back just a little bit, throwing the whole suspension off. Now these are welded in place. However, so I know they aren't like shifting on me, but stuff can still happen. So pretty much to remove this, it's very simple. It's about as simple as it comes. If they're stock, you're going to be bolted up here. Mine are not, so they're down here. And literally 2 bolts. We're going to pop this bolt out, and we're going to pop this bolt out. Now, something to be aware of on the back side, there's not a nut on the other end of here. It's like a bracket with a nut welded to it, so it's not going to spin on you, which is awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and pop those out real quick. We're going to take out each control arm one at a time, because if we do 2, then this whole thing gets all wonky and like shifts and gets all weird, because these are really the only things holding it vertical. So we're going to do 1 at a time, and then once that's done, we're going to pull these out and get them lined up with the new ones to make sure the identical length, so we can put it back together. It'll be the same spot, and then we can adjust it based on where it needs to be. All right, so step 1, I'm going to go ahead and pull these 2 bolts out. Alrighty, so this bottom one is a 22. This is the nut side. I believe the head side is slightly different, but that's all I need. And then this is an 18 millimeter. And with my luck, Pittsburgh and all their awesomeness did not make an 18 short socket for whatever reason. It goes 15, 17, 19. Super irritating, but that's why we have deep sockets. Alrighty, so popped 1 bolt out. I had to bang this out a little bit because it's pretty tight in there. As you can see, the whole thing shifted back already, because that's not going to line up if I push it right back up, which is fine. The reason for that is because the drive shaft and everything's still attached, and the upper control arm right there is holding it, so it's just going to swing back when it comes down. Anyway, if you're having trouble getting this front one out, as soon as it's loose, you can just slide it out after it's been undone. Well, looks like we still got a few more threads to go. There we go. Alrighty, so this is my old control arm. So next up, what we're going to do is go ahead and match the length of the new ones to this, and also take note of the orientation. There's one side that's offset, and that's the side that goes toward the inside of the car. Grease fittings go down. So we're going to go ahead and match this up real quick. All right, so as you can see, these are the 2 control arms. So pretty much the way you want to do this, you want to make sure both jam nuts on the end are loose. This one have to loosen up a little bit. And then these are actually removable, but as I was saying, take note of the orientation. It's going to go in just like this. And then as you can see, they're roughly the same length. Now there was a few I was looking at that didn't have these, or at least I couldn't tell if they had them. And these are all to give strength to that bolt, so it's not just the bolt holding it in there. Anyway guys, what we're going to do is go ahead and adjust it. Now the way you want to do it, loosen both jam nuts and twist from the middle. And you want to make sure that there's equal amount of threads on either side, because you don't want one side to be unscrewing itself and the other side not. Once it's on the car, it will be much easier because these won't be able to rotate. So I'm going to go ahead and get these lined up and make sure that we have the exact same length. And then we're going to put it in the car real quick. Alright, so as you can tell, this eyelet is lined up. I'm actually just going to use the old bolt, make life easier, right in there so I know it's lined up. And this one, as you can see, is a little short, so we're going to adjust it and get it lined up right. Alrighty, so as you can see, equal amount of threads on either side, and then to tighten this, all we're going to do is adjust the jam nuts in against the metal on either side, and that'll keep it snug. However, I'm leaving them loose right now, but as you can see, lines up, and bam. So now we know we have perfectly adjusted stock length ones. So I'm going to go ahead and get this installed real quick. I might need a buddy to help push this in place. I'm not sure just yet, but I think we'll be good to go. Alright, so as you can see, they're in, although not torqued down. So the next step, we're going to be torquing these bolts down to 130 foot-pounds, which is pretty nuts in all honesty, but that's what it calls for, so that's what we're going to do. Alrighty, one down, 130 foot-pounds. That is no joke. So we're going to go ahead and get this one torqued down next, and then we're going to, it's pretty much going to be it for this side. Two things I want to note about this. First, if you have your stock control arms, the e-brake cable actually flows through the middle of it, so you're going to have to detach that. There's other videos how to do that. I'm not detaching mine, so I'm not going to show you how to do it. Second, because these are a solid, basically no bushing, there's an eyelet, you're transferring metal and i.e. noises directly from your rear diff to your frame. So you are going to hear more stuff coming from your rear diff. If that's a problem for you, don't go this route. Use something with a bushing. However, it's not a problem for me because I'm trying to launch my car and get it to stay as rigid as possible in the rear end, because I do not want this thing shifting back and forth because of potential bad bushings. So that's why I'm going this route. But just something I want you guys to be aware of. Alright, so something I messed up that I'm going to have to fix on the other side. I didn't notice it the first time around, but you want the long sides opposite of each other. So on this one, short, very long. On this front side, you want it to face like this, a little bit longer, shorter, and that will keep the control arm in perfect line. So I have to go adjust that on the other side, but I'm going to get this side installed first, and I'm not going to walk through that whole thing. Just something I forgot to mention. Alrighty, so pretty much the way I'm going to adjust these, I'm going to go back and forth from side to side. As you can see, we have well over 2 fingers width of distance. And over on the other side, as you know, we still, because I haven't adjusted them yet, it's a little tight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be basically adjusting both of these until I have about even distance as far as I can eyeball it on here, and then we'll probably take it to an alignment shop later. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and start adjusting these things. The way to adjust them is very simple. You can literally do it by hand. And all you're going to do is rotate this one way or the other. So, I believe this way, yeah, it's out. So, we're just going to keep rotating it out. As you can see, we're getting more threads right there. So that's lengthening it, and we're just going to keep doing this back and forth until we get about even distance, and then we're going to tighten up these jam nuts and we should be good to go. Alrighty, so as you can see on this side, we've now got a nice flush 2 fingers right there, and on the driver's side, put around it, same thing. So that's good enough for me. Remember, solid rear axle, nothing crazy. That awkward moment when you just finish torquing everything down just to realize your directional wheel is facing the wrong direction. Whoops. Anyway guys, so that's pretty much going to sum it up for today. I decided I'm not going to do the shy brace install. Shy, S-H-A, I don't know how to say that. Diff install just yet, just because it's getting late out and I'm kind of tired, and it looks like it might rain a little bit. Anyway guys, so I'm going ahead and put the street tires back on because I don't plan on drag racing it just anytime yet. I wanted to get some street time in, a little testing out. And also I want to keep them from getting any kind of lumps or anything like that in them. So, pretty much going to sum up this install. Pretty straightforward, just lower control arms. But yeah, it definitely got my axle back in alignment like it's supposed to. Again, if that's the root cause of it, hopefully it's lower control arm brackets. We'll find out next video when I put on this brace. But hey guys, if you have any questions about these, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you as best I can. I haven't driven on it much, I don't have much experience, but just from the install. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.